All right, music fans, welcome. Harmless Dave here on the Harmless Dave channel, talking about real music and doing it in real time for a few real people, just like you there and just like me here. So, Paul McCartney is back out on the road. If you haven't been paying attention, he has extended his Got Back tour to, it's not Baby's Got Back, it's just Got Back, okay? Special guest Sir Mix-a-Lot, along with Paul McCartney. That would be interesting. Um, no, he's out there and he did a show a few days back, and I didn't get a lot of stuff on this. Surprising. Now, again, I'm not sitting on social media. There are people that sit or they get a feed somehow and they just examine that feed all day long. And this is why other people will send me links because I'm not the link master. Unless it's breakfast sausage, then I'm the link master. Paul McCartney's Got Back tour is the unifying elixir we all need right now. Huh. This according to USA Today. So rather than address our political problems and acknowledge that political violence is a bad thing and universally and resoundingly condemn it, which we should be doing no matter what end of the political spectrum you reside on. No, Paul McCartney's Got Back tour is the unifying elixir we all need right now. Written by Melissa Ruggieri from USA Today 5 days ago. Okay, Melissa. Yeah. Let's just forget about all of the weird stuff going on in the world and just go see Paul McCartney. And I get it. It's called escapism, but it doesn't really unify. Is this going to unify people? I'm sure there'll be people in the audience who are just going to keep quiet and go to the show, but their views aren't going to change. There's not going to be any political unity, but maybe there'll be some entertainment unity. I don't know. Anyway, she says this. Let's get this out of the way. Paul McCartney has zero financial motivation to tour. He doesn't need the hassle of schlepping around venues nor the headaches of travel. This is true. Sure, he lives for the applause, wouldn't you? But even that isn't the reason he's still leading live sing-alongs of Hey Jude at age 83. Music simply is his lifeblood. Wow, I would have never guessed. Thanks, Melissa. I would have never guessed that music is Paul McCartney's lifeblood. I actually thought it was farming. I thought he was a farmer and he was taking a break from farming to play some music. That's like saying, I don't know, Bill Belichick, his passion is football. or really younger women. Probably the younger women more than the football these days. McCartney is a legend. Really? I didn't know McCartney was a legend. Among a dwindling pack who commands a stage for nearly 3.5 hours and 35 songs with the enthusiasm of a teen, albeit one adept at bass, guitar, piano, mandolin, and ukulele. This is really good because she's so smart listing all the different instruments that Sir Paul plays. This is good. This is good writing. I like this. Maybe the hint of ash-colored stubble lining his face, and the huskier vocal tone. That's interesting. Huskier vocal tone, sanded by age, like sandpaper, are blatant reminders that even heroes aren't immune to the passing of time. This is one of the big problems that the music industry has with aging classic rock people. Paul McCartney does not sound like he used to sound, all right? Now, I've reached a point, though, where I'm just going to say, hey, it's Paul McCartney, shut up. That's what would I pay for this? No, I saw Paul McCartney in 1990, and his voice was still where it had been for, I don't know how many years, like 30. Aging a little bit, but not to the point where it is now. But people kind of just go, hey, it's a huskier tone. I think it's a little beyond a huskier tone. But this is great writing because then you've got sanded by age. So you could take some sandpaper, right, and go like this. Yeah. So you're picturing in your mind it's been sanded down a little bit. It should be smoother if it's sanded, right? I don't know. But they're blatant reminders that even heroes aren't immune to the passing of time. It's called aging. That's what it is. It's aging. By the way, Sir Paul looks great for his age. He looks fantastic. But as McCartney showcased at the intimate Arascure or Arashore, Acrashore, why don't you just call it the Palm Beach, whatever, what are we? Palm Springs Arena. No. What's Acrashore? Is that insurance? Is that a medical thing, Acrashore? Somebody will send me what it is. He did this back on September 29th, which was the kickoff of a new leg of his Got Back tour. Music is an equalizer and a much-needed elixir. Yes, let's not address our problems. Let's just mindlessly go to a concert and pretend that there's nothing wrong with society. And hopefully you won't get shot walking to the show or walking out of the venue. Let's hope for that. Let's hope there's no political violence, all right? Why would there be? It's Paul McCartney, right? Yeah, you'd think you'd be safe there, but, you know, a lot of boomers would go to a Paul McCartney show, and I'm sure people don't like boomers, right? Every time I read about boomers, I'm almost a boomer. I'm really close to being a boomer, but yep, was born a month too late to be a boomer. Paul McCartney vows to play Help at his recent shows, and he did. It was a historical opening. The first time John Lennon's anthem of uncertainty, Help, was played. See, they're trying to tie this together because we need help right now. And so McCartney chose Help because we're in desperate times. So rather than condemning political violence across the political spectrum, we can all listen to Help and think to ourselves, we need help. Help from who? Help from above? Maybe. Help from politicians? Probably not. Help from Paul McCartney. He's the great equalizer. And it even says here, music is the great equalizer. Was played in its entirety, the song Help, during its official tour in 1965. And also with McCartney plucking his original 1961 Hofner violin bass. Hofner. Pretty nice bass, by the way. Looking trim in a fitted navy jacket and dark jeans, McCartney leaned into the song's plea before swinging into a spirited Coming Up. Wow. Can't believe he did Coming Up. That's a cool track that was banished from radio. The song hit number one in 1980 and hasn't been played on the radio since it hit number one in 1980. Don't get me started with all this stuff. Maybe somebody should do a feature on songs that were number one hits that have vanished. There are quite a few of those. And a horn-flecked Got to Get You Into My... Horn-flecked? Like fleck? Flick? Fleck? What's flecked? Horn-flecked. I'm going to have to look up the word fleck. Kind of looks like fleece. Fleck. Okay. Anyway, the song has Got to Get You Into My Life, which is a great Beatles track, complemented by animation of the Beatles rolling on the video screen behind him. Backed by his longtime musical comrades from the Soviet Union, Wickens on keyboards, the great Abe Laboriel Jr. on drums, one of the finest drummers the world has ever known, folks. Seriously, just putting it out there. Rusty Anderson on guitar, Brian Ray on guitar, as well as the Hot City Horns. Yeah, baby. Adding richness to the band's sound. McCartney wasn't so jaded as to let a moment pass. He told the sold-out crowd of 11,000 that he wanted to take a minute to take it all in as he stood with his hands crossed at the wrist atop his bass, surveying a smitten crowd filled with signs begging for a favorite song to be played. So I guess that's what you do. You bring a sign to McCartney. I mean, if you're going to McCartney, just be happy he's playing songs. You've got a request. I don't know. He's not a DJ. He's Sir Paul McCartney, and he can play whatever he wants to play. He wants to play fart noises on his bass, and he could do that. And you'd pay for that, probably. Many people would. But this is just interesting writing. The fact that you would tie it in with some of the political violence going on in our country, and not stating it directly, but this is the elixir. The elixir. We've got to use the word elixir because people want to read something that's got substance, Dave. They don't want to say medicine or whatever. They want a distraction. No, it's an elixir, man. Here, this is my elixir right here. Coffee, baby. Buy me a coffee, right? So we're concluding this monstrosity of a video, this pathetic attempt at covering Paul McCartney, and kind of how the media somehow intertwines the Got Back thing, the Baby Got Back Paul McCartney tour, with what's going on in the culture, what's going on here in the United States. Anything's a good distraction. Go for a walk. You don't have to break out your American Express card to go for a walk. Think of that. Read a book. You don't need your Amex card for that either. No. You don't have to battle traffic or other human beings who you're going to bump into, people next to you who probably need 2 seats and they're only in 1 seat. That happened to me recently, folks. I had to move, and thankfully there were other seats available that I could sit in because I was not a comfortable person. And again, I'm not impugning anyone who may need to grab some Ozempic, right? I just don't do it. Don't take the Ozempic. Go for the walk instead. All right? It's better for you. It's good. It's good for your soul. Speaking of your soul, folks, music is great, and it can be spiritual. Even non-spiritual music can bring you closer to God. But don't forget that God is real, and he wants a relationship with you, and he's actually done all the work. You just have to say, yes, I believe this all happened. It's real. It's true. And I'm going to just have faith that God has made a way. That's what you need to do. That's the bottom line through all this. And you can go and enjoy any concert and not think to yourself, boy, this is the elixir that will fix me. No, the elixir has already been provided for you. All right. So anyway, I'm happy that Paul McCartney is back. I am. And I'm just going to say very little about his voice because he's got a great band and he can still bring it enough to be convincing enough. And it is history. It is an amazing piece of music history to see Paul McCartney in concert. And I've already seen him. But yeah, no, if you haven't seen him and you have the disposable income, you have like an account somewhere that you could kind of draw from. You got a retirement account that you could take the money out of early or something, and you want to go see McCartney, do it, man. Don't miss this opportunity because life is kind of short here on this planet. And Paul McCartney's 83. All right. He could be here for another 20 years. Really. I mean, it's Paul McCartney and the technology is here to keep him going. And he looks great. He's like Ringo. I think he eats broccoli. So good for Paul. God bless Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr as well. And all the old geezers that are still roaming the earth trying to entertain us and keep us occupied with something other than political violence. Because, again, why solve the problem when we can just put our head in the sand and have a good time?